Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in. This is another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the vampire venue. This evening we set our scene in the Indigo bar inside the Clontarf Castle Hotel. More recently has become known to the kindred in the area as the Tremere Chantry, home to Clan Tremere of Dublin. Sitting inside the Indigo bar is our Tremere Primogen and Regent, Katja von Essen. And she is awaiting the arrival of a new Tremere to the city.
All right. Entering into the scene of this quite lavish hotel bar is one man, pristine and precise in his grooming and his appearance. But despite what all he can do, he will perpetually have this gruffy looking beard. Sometimes he goes ahead and manages to shave it down just a little bit, make it look more proper, but that hair is going to be there to stay for as long as he exists in this unlife. But beside all that, his suit is prim and proper. His cadence, his stance, his gesture is all very precise, very much measured. And when he goes ahead and enters the establishment, he'll go ahead and look around. He has made his presence known to the receptionist up front. But for now, he doesn't wish to go ahead and intrude, doesn't wish to go ahead and make himself a bit of a pest to the regent acting. So he simply walks up to the bar, goes ahead and takes his seat, waves off the bartender, saying, "No, no, not tonight. I'm waiting for a friend."
At which point Katya would approach wearing a perfectly pressed baby pink suit and a pair of bright green heels, though a very distinct red bottom to them. She would wave the bartender over and order two of the usual. And they would be set down in front of them not long later. Katja von Essen, regent of Clan Tremere.
Nemo's going to go ahead and extend his hand. "Christopher Nemo, it is my honor and my pleasure to meet you, ma'am."
She would take his hand and shake it. Pleasure's all mine. Welcome to the Chantry.
Nemo's going to go ahead and take the glass and bring it to his, just bring it to his lips for a hot second. Go ahead and activate his supernatural senses to take a good whiff of the drink, find out what its ingredients are, if there's traces of that dear, dear sweet of blood in it.
Oh, it is definitely blood.
I'll go ahead and then take a very handy sip of it. Go ahead and place it down. Thank
Well,
you for the drink.
he would also smell from her glass, probably just wine.
Okay. Okay. Goes ahead and sets it down. "Thank you for already offering me a bit of hospitality of the Chantry, ma'am. This is indeed a fine establishment."
Yes. The restaurant. We did a good job when we picked out this place. Worth every penny, I would say. And it did
Indeed.
cost a pretty penny. even for someone of my vast resources.
Indeed, ma'am, it seems to be wealth well spent. You can see that Nemo is comporting himself quite properly. He is not relaxed in any sense. He's cordial to you, but he's mostly letting you drive the conversation because of your status.
Now. No need to be too formal, my dear. Relax.
Goes ahead and just gives a simple nod, and as you wish. Sort of relaxes himself, the tension from his shoulders goes ahead and slumps somewhat. He reclines better much in his chair. He actually goes ahead and now squarely looks at you, drinks you in a little bit, probably a little bit too much, but he simply goes ahead like correcting himself. Is there anything
He's
that?
gonna go ahead and aura sight him.
Go ahead.
Let me get the stuff up because I gotta. To be fair, she's not real great at aura sight because she has shit empathy.
Let me bring up the colors for you.
Yeah, I got it up.
Cool.
And it's difficulty 8 minus her aspects level. Yep, nope. Those ones, though.
One's took it away, you say?
Well, I mean, go look at that roll. Come on.
Despite what the roll goes ahead and says, I'll just give you a few things. How about
Oh,
that?
nah. It's okay.
Well, how about you just roll a straight empathy roll?
That's
That
one
could get you
die.
different information. Perception, empathy, one die?
No, well, perception empathy is, same. And for regular perception, I'm going to assume it's diff 6. Is he actively trying to hide anything?
He's not actively trying to hide anything.
Okay, so we'll set it at standard diff. Boop. Ah, that's better.
How many successes did you get?
3.
All right, all right. 3 successes. You can tell that he's urgent to get on with the business. He's relaxing at your direction, and he seems well confident that this is a matter of fact affair.
So, I'm assuming you want a little information on what's going on in our dear city.
Uh, yes, ma'am. But before we get on to that business, was there any information that you went ahead and wanted to require of me? I know that I went ahead and sent on my invitation as well as a brief packet of my dossier. Was there anything that you required of me?
Hmm. I tend not to pry too terribly much into people's backgrounds if I can help it.
You'll go ahead and nod. Fair enough, ma'am. Are we free to speak here?
Yes, for now.
Fair enough. He goes ahead and like knocks on the table to excuse me, knocks on the counter and puts up 2 fingers because he's actually quite thirsty.
Bartender would bring another drink over and set it down in front of him.
I'll go ahead and let that sit for the half second. Go ahead and continue to relax, to recline in his chair, taking his cues from the regent. He's now folding his hands in his lap. He's got one knee over the other, and he simply goes ahead and says, "Go ahead and teach me. Tell me what's up."
You have come to Dublin at an interesting time. We have anarchs, we have Sabbat, we have red listers all knocking at our door. And somehow Clan Tremere finds themselves involved with all of it. Whether it be the blame being cast on us as the bad guys, or them crawling back to us for help afterwards.
I see. What is... Well, let me ask two questions. What is the Ivory Tower's stance on the Anarch, and what is our stance on the Anarchs?
I do feel that the anarchs are not nearly as big a problem as our other two, given that the Red Lister is of our clan, and the Sabbat are a looming, impending threat.
I see. With the incursion of the spot, are we on wartime status, or is it just a nightly affair to manage?
We are at war.
That goes ahead and like throws Nemo for a loop. His one eyebrow goes ahead and raises over his sunglasses because he's, well, plainly quite perplexed at the situation.
Mm. Seriously. Hush. Where's your
The,
pacifier?
the sounds are adorable.
To better explain, the Sabbat were driven from this city and have set up shop in a town probably 2 hours away called Waterford. They have taken over the entire city. Flagrant breaches of the masquerade. Flesh-crafted beasts walking the streets.
I see. I see.
And a ship containing more Sabbat reinforcements on its way from Mexico City.
All the way across the Atlantic. Well, I'll give them this. When they put their minds to it, you can go ahead and throw a bunch of shovelheads into a problem and eventually get fixed.
The only problem is it's not just shovelheads. They are attempting a ritual on board that ship. Thus, it has once again fallen to Clan Tremere to fix this mess.
I see. What are they requesting of us then?
Oh, the Lord of Hibernia has already begun leading the troops in Waterford. So that is quite the boon to this motley crew as it is.
I see. Before we get on to internal politics, the Red Lister. He said that
Hmm.
he was of our blood. Defector, obviously, but
An infernalist.
okay. If that drink goes into his mouth a little bit quicker than he really ought to, but if there's alcohol in it, he's trying to enjoy it.
There is. She makes sure that while she does not partake of blood that has been tainted with alcohol or drugs, she'll allow it within the bar.
I see.
Yes. He's the. Oh, heavens, what kingdom was it that he dealt with? Oh, Louisiana in that area, but it it has, somehow fallen on our shoulders, all of the blame. Because if one career is bad, we must all be, clearly. Seriously, stop it! I am trying to be serious here. You're making it very difficult.
Don't worry. I'm enjoying myself. Don't worry about that.
Well, there's that at least.
um, Nemo goes ahead and comports himself to go to deal with the grave news of an infernalist that's split off from the pyramid. He goes ahead and simply says, "That is an unfortunate sort of events." Shrugs. I know of no. Consider me ignorant on the matter when it comes to how one defects and why one would want to.
He's also the man who created the ritual that creates the gargoyles.
Consider me ignorant on various secrets of the clan.
That is why one of our inner council is now in torpor, and we have no gargoyles to protect our chantry.
I see. I see. They are a useful tool, and to not have them at beck and call definitely puts ourselves in a more tenuous position when it comes to outside incursions. But he goes ahead and shrugs. Sometimes the support of the ivory tower and being one of its pillars can go ahead and save us a lot more than some, well, stoneheads.
Very true, though, given the heritage of our prince, I wouldn't depend too heavily on the ivory tower for support.
Interesting. And let's go ahead and move on to the internal politics of the city. Who is the prince?
Prince Justin Thrain, grandchilder of great Prince Mithras of London.
The Blooded Kings is quite proud of their heritage.
Yes, yes, they are. And they're also rather well known for their distaste of our clan.
Hmm. Have you noticed any? You say not to go ahead and expect much support from the Ivory Tower. What is our relationship then with this particular prince? Is it warm? Is it cold? Would they care if the Sabbat came to our doorstep and knocked?
Of that I can't be sure. I don't know him well enough for that. I've only been here for about 2 months myself.
I see. I see. How long has this chantry been up then?
About a month. The
Well,
previous one
that other
burned to
drink,
the ground.
that other drink is going to go into his mouth very quickly.
We are still in the process of making renovations to this one to ensure it is properly fortified and protected.
I see. Would you
As
just
once we pass our 4-month mark for renovations, this becomes a functioning hotel once more.
I see. I see. Goes ahead and scratches his chin. Now, the brochure, he goes ahead and says, cocking his thumb back to the entrance, says this place is a castle, but I'm not sure we're at castle fortifications quite yet. Uh, what do you need, ma'am, in order to make this chantry secure?
Right now, we need warding rituals. I've
Oh,
already sought to get a little aid in that from some of my higher level apprentices, as we have 2 apprentices of the 7th circle among us. Their
I,
skills
s-
come in handy.
I see. I see. The warding power of our clan is what has kept us through the most darkest of nights, definitely. And to hear that such wards will be placed on this on this site does go ahead and bring me a little bit more confidence. To
And
be
while
honest,
I have no doubt that Sabat would simply ignore any civilian casualties, the Camarilla are not so obvious with their attacks, and I highly doubt they would make any moves against a place that has such regular civilian activity.
so that is how you choose to go ahead and keep the ivory tower all honest. Yes.
Of course. If they're going to attack, they're going to have to risk mortal lives to do so.
A hand goes ahead and an elbow is placed on the counter, and the hand attached to the arm goes ahead and waves. They will do what they do.
Seriously, dude.
Take yourself a second.
Oh no, he's excited. That's excited squealing. There's definitely a difference.
Okie dokie.
Seriously, I don't want your pacifier. Take it and go away. You take your pacifier and go sit down. I don't want it. Thank you, though. Very sweet of you to offer. But yes.
Nemo goes ahead and continues saying, are there any particular, how is this hotel section off and divided? Does the clan have its own floor or its own set of rooms?
Currently, the rooms are upstairs, but once renovations are complete, we will have an entire underground
Oh,
network underneath the hotel.
oh, I see. I had not even considered that. I would be very interested to go ahead and see the future plans of this chantry, um, especially if I would lend my particular aid in securing this place. I'm a security minded individual, but my expertise comes in cyber and electronic security. I made a
Mm.
note that your elevators aren't working. I mean, they are working, they go up and down, but there's no security on it. Anybody can go ahead and jump up to any floor they want to. I'm used to a skyscraper wherein most of the elevator access is sectioned off and partitioned based on a particular card. I can offer you that at least.
I don't think it'll be necessary just yet. Once everything arrives, all of my things arrive from Orlando, possibly. As right now I'm staying in the primary suite, but it also serves as my office. Well, not that I've actually done any business in there. Most of my business has been conducted in this very room, but
I can
that
certainly
matters
see the
not.
appeal.
Exactly. It is quite beautiful, isn't it?
Nemo will go ahead and take his chair, go ahead and swivel it a little bit to take in more of the establishment, the light blue overshade, the various tables and flower arrangements if there are any. Just go ahead and nod. He's not one to go ahead and like overindulge in pleasant sights, but he recognizes it.
And Katya is quite the opposite. She is very much known for her love of pretty things.
Okay, okay. What of the rest of the clans?
Currently, Gangrel and Ventru lack a primogen. Gangrel due to stupidity on behalf of their primogen.
Oh, and what did he do?
Breaches of many of the traditions. At the very least, 3 of them.
I dare to ask which ones.
Give me 1 second. I gotta look up the exact numbers again. I gotta remember what he did. The first, the second, the fifth, and the sixth.
The first, the second, the fifth, and the sixth. Hmm.
Oh, wait, no, not the fifth, just the sixth.
All right. The first, the second, and the sixth. All right.
The masquerade, the domain, and the destruction.
Okay, that sounds like he went ahead and offed somebody he really shouldn't have offed in a very particularly public manner.
Yes, he did. It was caught on video.
Oh, really?
It was. Thank heavens for Clan Nosferatu's dealings in technology in this city. lest it would have been very bad for all of us.
Clan Nosferatu is has always been useful to the Ivory Tower, and we can only go ahead and hope that they continue to be useful.
Oh, of that I'm certain they will. Our seneschal is of Clan Nosferatu.
That does make a bit of sense. I have heard many stories of successful cities having seneschals as Clan Nosferatu, but I digress. What
Yeah, Seneschal Hennessy is a powerhouse of a man, even though he's not much taller than I am. And
you
his childer is absolutely one of the dearest little things I've ever met.
you speak with much respect and laud them with such praise?
Yes, as one does when dealing with a very thick-blooded Methuselah.
The domain of Dublin certainly has its monsters. But no, please tell me more of the incident where the gangrel Primogen broke so many traditions so handily.
Yes, he got into a public brawl in a bar with a follower of Set. He rendered the Setite unto final death in his own domain. And then proceeded, when brought forward for trial by the prince, headbutted the prince and broke his nose.
I can see where Clan Gangrel was done a disservice by these actions.
Yes, indeed. Now, the only gangrel that I know of in the city is young Emily, who had hardly just come out of her adoptive sire's accounting only just days before he was rendered unto final death by our seneschal.
Hmm. It seems that this little neonate has nowhere to turn, but if she had passed her accounting while the Primogen Gangrel was in good standing, then I believe she is. And you can see him like throwing up his few fingers to go ahead and like note a few precepts. It would seem that she would be covered.
Yes, she is fully covered. Though she does seem to be a favored target of the Red Lister for whatever reason.
Mysteries of the night.
Heck, she saved my backside during a foray into the abyss to close a portal created by the Red Lister. I may not have made it out if not for her.
I see. She is. Uh, Again, you speak in such great praise of another kindred. I will make note of this in my interactions with her.
Yes. She also saved the sheriff that evening.
Also, a note: who is the Ventru? Who are the Ventru? Why do they not hold a seat on the Primogen Council anymore?
As far as I know, we only have one, our prince. I've yet to meet any other Ventru in the city, except maybe his bodyguards that follow him everywhere.
Gotcha. Understood. The blood of kings holds itself very close.
We have several Malkavians that I've met thus far, though the Nosferatu seem to be the most populous clan in the city.
I see. I see.
Followed
Any
closely by the Toreador.
any particular kindred of note? Do their Fremengen hold much sway? Are we threatened by these interests?
Hmm. Dr. Brightman is a interesting individual. He runs the local zoo. He is conducting experiments with ghouling animals. It's interesting work. I've never been one for ghouls myself, but
Very well, very well. It's not particularly my area of expertise, neither. Neither. But if you recommend him, I will pay him a visit.
let's see. The sheriff, of course, is a Toreador. Though he seems to not have the same artistic ability that most do. He is a warrior, and a damn fine one at that. And then there's the Master of the Harpies, who has had a excruciatingly terrible couple of weeks.
Oh, what has the mistress of harpies or the master of harpies had to deal with?
You may not have been here for the news, but there was an explosion downtown. Came from a restaurant called La Perfecta. A restaurant owned by one Alexander Delano, our Master of the Harpies.
Since you speak in the present tense and not the former master, I assume he is still amongst us.
Yes, thankfully. After what his childer did, I would hate to see him harmed in any way.
Oh, and what did his childer do? Did he also do a good pass by house and clan?
She. There was an auction recently. Not an auction as most mortals would think of it. We were bidding things more esoteric in nature, less tangible, memories, feelings, true names, souls.
You have his attention.
She bid every memory of him from before he embraced her. To say that everyone in the room was disgusted would be a bit of an understatement. All for a silly painting.
Nemo goes ahead and scratches his chin, goes ahead and looks at the establishment for a hot second, takes in the grandeur, the luxury, and he simply goes ahead and says, I guess for some kindred, their priorities are much different than others.
Mm, I suppose so. It was a Van Gogh.
Correct me if I am wrong, since I am no art scholar, but isn't that the artist that cut off his own ear?
Yes, that is. You are correct.
It seems as if his painting inspired a likewise sacrifice.
Indeed. But yes, let me see. Any other notable kindred? Hmm, you're likely to see our local La Sombra anti-tribute.
Sort of waves his hand. I have heard rumors that there have been overtures from the ivory tower to the shadows.
Yes. Darling little thing he is. Hmm. Let's see. We currently do not have an Elysium, as our former one was compromised. We are rapidly running out of places for kindred to meet.
Hmm. I will hold my proposals to myself until I take a measure of the city.
Oh, our new Elysium is under construction.
He goes ahead and nods, and he's. You can absolutely go ahead and tell that he is holding his tongue quite intently, as if he wants to go ahead and splurt out what he believes will be an idea not readily accepted.
Speak freely.
Nemo is hesitant, but eventually goes ahead and measures his words and simply says, a building constructed is not a gathering place useful to us, especially in wartime. I have been a part of cities where the solution of the Elysium came from circumspect methods, messages, and meetings held in one place and then quickly disbanded, all evidence of kindred activity thrown to the wind, only for another Elysium to be gathered in an entirely different location, and then likewise evidence scattered to the winds. A roving Elysium.
Hmm. Yes, but there are scarce few places that our kind can open up and not have to worry about breaking the masquerade. This is one such place, but I wouldn't open it to just anybody.
Sort of shrugs, goes ahead and lets the idea die there. But if I this is an idea that would take a little bit more thought. But if aren't there dozens of places within the city circumspect out of the way places that can serve as an impromptu Elysium where voices can be silenced and ears shut off?
Hmm, it's possible, but we have already provided funding for the new Elysium, so given by the prince to our keeper, Mr. Alexander Rothschild of the Clan of the Broken Mirror.
He goes ahead and nods. If that is the policy of the land, then it is the policy of the land.
Do you have any questions? Feel free to ask.
At this time, I do not have any more questions about the city overall, but I do ask about my own accommodations.
You will be staying here, as is traditional among our clan. I will have one of my siblings take your things to your room.
Much appreciated, ma'am.
Please call me Katya. Ma'am is so stuffy.
Then I will endeavor to do so, Katya.
I am no Ventru. And with that, you see a absolute just hulking beast of a man walk through the door and come over and whisper something in her ear. Thank you, Castile. That's all. Something has come up. We'll have to call this meeting to a close.
As you will. Thank you for your time, and thank you for extending the hospitality.
And with that, we can call our scene to a close. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. See you next time.